Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to look at the pens that I've got inked up but aren't in my current EDC rotation. So these are pens that may have been in my pen case, some of them for a couple of months. They're inked up, ready to go. I've used them in other videos, that's why they're there, and I don't like throwing ink down the sink, so I tend to leave them and then I'll use them up when we have a Use Me Up month. So the first pen, this is by Jinhao, and this is the Jinhao 80. Very much like a Lamy 2000, isn't it? You know, it looks like it, doesn't feel like it though. Cartridge converter pen, there's a converter, still quite a lot of ink in this. So I filmed the first impressions of this not too long ago, and it's been in a couple of other videos since then. So we've got here a Jinhao 80. It's got a fine nib. The ink is by Diamine, and it's writer's blood. I do like this ink, it flows really, really well. Price for this pen, $5 Aussie. Can't go wrong at that, can you? Cheap as chips, writes really well, uses Lamy style nibs. Later on this month, I'm actually going to film a video where I swap the nib on this with a Lamy Safari nib. Let's see how that one goes. So that was a Jinhao 80. We're staying with Jinhao, going for a Jinhao 250. This was in my orange and yellow pens video. Again, it's a pen, it doesn't come out very often. It's got a fair bit of weight to it though. I believe it's a metal pen. And then this overlay is applied to it. It looks quite nice. Again, it's a cartridge converter. Got loads of ink in there. Hard to see the ink level because it's a fairly pale ink. The section's ribbed, so if you hold your pen further up, you've got that rib in there to stop your fingers from slipping. I hold my pens further down, so my finger does slip a bit on this pen. So this is a Jinhao 250. I always want to call this an X250, but it's not. It's another fine nib, and the ink in here is Diamine Celebration. Really nice ink, orange coloured ink. I accidentally put this in here. I did have another ink lined up for it, but then I made a mistake when I was filling my pens. But I think this actually works quite well. Price for this pen, $8 Aussie, so a little bit more expensive, but it's a lot heavier than that Jinhao 80. So that's the Jinhao 250. We've got another Jinhao pen. This time it's the Jinhao 9019, or the Jinhao Dadao 9019. Big chunky pen. Transparent blue colour, I love the colour of this. Cartridge converter, it's got that new style converter, holds an awful lot of ink. Number 8 steel nib, massive nib. What I like about this pen, how wide it is, look at that. I've got large hands, this is really, really nice. So if you've got smaller hands, yeah, it might be too big, but really nice. I have recently received the 9016 and the 9013. I'm going to be doing their first impressions shortly. Then at the end of it, I'm going to do a video comparing all these Dadao models. So we've got here a Jinhao 9019. This has got a medium nib. The ink in here is by Dominant Industry. And it's Lake. This is a very nice nib to write with, very soft, got a nice little bit of feedback to it. You really know you're writing with this. $12 Aussie. Again, for what you're getting, quite a reasonably priced nib. So that's the Jinhao 9019. We're staying with Jinhao. This is the last Jinhao of the day. This is the Jinhao 9056. This is a wooden pen. Love this pen. Very, very nice. Very similar to a Conklin All-American in shape. Take off there. Again, cartridge converter. Let's get that ink all the way down the bottom. Not a lot of ink left in here. It's got a black section, but the nib on here, this is not the nib that it came with. This is a Kiwi Pens nib, and it's a medium cursive italic. I do sometimes struggle with this nib. I do feel it catches on the sides from time to time, but the line it gives is so nice that it doesn't bother me too much. It's another pen in the hand, very nice, not as wide as that 9019, but still wider than the other two, nice, comfortable to hold. So this is a Jinhao 9056 with that medium cursive italic. The ink in here is by Dominant Industry. And it's Winter Wood. And the price for this pen is 20 Aussie dollars. Then obviously there was an extra 15 Aussie dollars for the nib. What I like about this is the line variation. So going down, I know we don't have a lot out on the line above. Going down, we've got a very thick line. Going across, we've got a very thin line. Fetches character to my writing, really like it. So that's a Jinhao 9056. Next up, we've got a Keiko pen. This is the Keiko Edge. Another one very similar looking to the Lamy 2000. I don't like the clip on this, I will be honest. I think this clip is really ugly. That's just very personal preference. It's another one with a cartridge converter. There we go. Then we've got just a normal nib there, smallish nib, maybe number 5 size, might be a bit smaller. I've never really measured it. So this is the Keiko Edge. Now I didn't show this, it's very thin in the section, so I do struggle sometimes with this. And it's got a medium nib. Nice, generous medium nib. The ink in here is Diamine. And it's writer's blood. The price for this is 22 Aussie dollars. I did do a video comparing the Jinhao 80, the Keiko Edge and the Lamy 2000, so they've all had the same ink in it. That's currently on my channel if you want to go and find it. So that's the Keiko Edge. Up next, we've got a Hondian pen, the only Hondian pen in the lineup. It's a fairly new one to me. This is the A3. Love the looks of this. Really bright, isn't it? A bit in your face. It's like this beautiful silver colour. Then we've got these diagonal stripes running down it. Quite nice looking. Again, cartridge converter. Not a lot of ink in there. Might not even write. That'd be interesting. Let's see what happens. The section has got these rings running around it, so it does provide some grip, stops your finger from slipping on this metal section. It feels very nice, feels very light. I'm saying it's metal, it might be plastic, but it certainly looks metal to me. Small nib on there. This one though is a long blade knife, so hopefully we'll see a little bit of line variation. So we've got a Hondian. As I say, struggling to write. Let me just try priming the feed on this. As we saw, there wasn't a lot of ink in it. Okay, let's try again. No, it's not going to write. The Hondian. That's a shame. Would have liked to have shown that. But this is a pen that's going now into the pot for cleaning. Up next, we've got a Mastodon pen. This is the Mastodon A1. So this is a clicky pen. So it clicks in and out. Love this blue colour. We've got here a little roll stop so it won't roll. There we go, it just rolls and bang, stops there. I like the fact this doesn't have a clip because the pen this is based on, I hate the look of it because of where the clip is. It's another one, it's a cartridge converter. There's a converter. The actual converter that it came with, it broke, so I've got in there a Pilot Con 40 converter, which is the same fitting. Because this is... So let's write with this. I've clicked that nib out. Very small looking nib. Section, not too bad. A bit slippy though because it's on the metal. So we've got here a Mastodon. And we've got another one which doesn't seem to want to write. Mastodon A1. So again, let me try priming the feed. So prime the feed there. Mastodon A1. Yeah, we're just about writing. It's got an extra fine nib. The ink in here is by Diamine, and it's Nightshade. Not that you can see much of it because it's that thin a line and there's next to no ink. The price for this though, $44. So we're starting to go up in price. But we've seen what's happening. Into the cleaning pot. Wing Sun next, a Wing Sun 630. This is in the torpedo, the cigar shape. Beautiful colouring on this. It's like a really dark burgundy to my eye. Piston filler. And I'll just try to unscrew it there. Beautiful ink window here. Really nice. Got a really good idea of the amount of ink you've got. Nice size pen, nice and wide. Number 8 size nib. So another chunky nib on here. So we've got here a Wing Sun. A bit of a hard start there. Wing Sun 630 with a fine nib. And the ink in here is by Diamine. And it's mulled wine. Price for this pen, you're looking about 46 Aussie dollars. Few issues there with writing. Could be how I'm holding the pen. Normally I don't have any problems, but my recording setup, I have to have things a little bit weird, so sometimes I do struggle to write. It's a nice pen though. It's a nice chunky pen, nice comfortable pen. So that's the Wing Sun 630. Just to move the page up, we've got a few more pens in the under 100 category. This one from Mastodon, the Mastodon M1000. Very nice pen, very weighty pen, a lot of weight in this. It's got this wooden covering. It's got these beautiful stud patterns. Really nice. If I open this up, cartridge converter. Section, bit on the thin side, usable though, more than usable. And it's a bit slippy because it's metal, but it's got a nice lip at the bottom. I hold my pens low, so that doesn't bother me. If you hold your pens further up, you've got the threads here, which also stop your fingers from slipping. Nice weighty pen, really know it's in your hand, you really know you're writing with this one. So we've got a Mastodon M1000. This one has a medium nib. The ink by Diamine, very Diamine heavy at the moment, and it's autumn oak. Do like this colour. I think it goes well with the wood here. Price for this pen, 54 Aussie dollars. Not bad. Quite enjoyable pen. I love the weight. It's a fairly smooth nib, not glass smooth, there's a little bit of feedback there, but it's fairly smooth, but nice to write with anyway. So that's that Mastodon M1000. Got a Pen BBS pen next, the Pen BBS 487. One of the pens that I love to hate. That would have been in a video earlier on this month. I really like this. It's a nice pen. It's a magnetic filler, so the idea is this goes down, then comes back up by attaching the cap, like that. Doesn't work, doesn't bother me. All I do, unscrew the section, I drop the pen. Really love the nib on this, really love the way it writes. The section, again, bit on the thin side, but it's more than usable. And then we've got this nice nib there, this Pen BBS nib. So we've got a Pen BBS 487. It's a fine nib, but to me, writes more like a medium. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Silent Night. Price for this pen, 65 Aussie dollars. I'm trying to use up my Inkvent inks. That's why we've got quite a few in today's selection. So this is the Pen BBS 487. The final pen under 100 Aussie dollars. This comes from Narwhal, and it's the Narwhal School Kill. This is Chromist Teal. Love the colours on this. I don't often use this particular one. Normally I use my Paul Peter Navy version. So it's nice having this out, giving it a little bit of an airing. Piston filler, Got a piston window here. It's usable. You can see the ink level there. I just wish it was a little bit. Wider. I struggle sometimes with the narrower ink windows. The material continues down into the section. Again, nice, comfortable section. Number 6 nib on here, and this is a narwhal nib. So we've got here a narwhal Schuylkill. It's got a medium nib on it. The ink is by Herban, and it's Diablo Month or Menth. An ink I don't use very often. Beautiful pale blue, I want to say like aqua type colour. Very nice. 96 Aussie dollars, just scraping in under that 100 Aussie dollars. I do like my narwhal pens, got quite a few of them. This one particularly nice. So that was the narwhal Schuylkill. Let's take a look now at pens over 100 Aussie dollars. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. So the first pen comes from India. It's a Ranga Model 5. A beast of a pen, a massive pen. Really do know you've got this. Just seeing if I've got a pen I can fetch in to compare it against. Here's a Pilot E95S. Just look at the difference in size between the two. You know you're using this pen. For all its size, it is actually quite light. Cartridge converter. Loads of threads and it's resin, so you could possibly eyedropper this. I haven't tried it. I don't intend to try it. It's just so big, it would take so much ink, I don't think I'd ever use it up. Nice wide section. Number 6 size nib. Now that number 8 size nibs are around, if I was to get another one, I think I would get a number 8 size nib. I think that would look a lot better. I may try swapping one of that Jinhao or Wingsun nib onto here. That'd be interesting to try. In the hand, it's very long. Nice fit though. I say large hands works really well. So we've got a Ranga Model 5. This has got a broad nib. I think for a beast of a pen like this, you need a wider nib. The ink is by Dominant Industry. And it's late. The price for this, $142 when I bought it. I bought it as part of the group buy. Love this. It's called, I think it's Green Stripe was the name of the material. Very nice. So the Ranga Model 5. We've got a pen from Taiwan next. This is a Laban 325. This is in Cambridge Brown. Just look at this beautiful material here in the body. Very nice, very unusual. Another one, cartridge converter. The converter is actually labelled Laban as well. Nice brown section to go with the rest of the material. Section, yep, is just about on that sweet spot for me. Not too small, not too large. It's a steel nib. I believe it's made by Yoho. There we go. So we've got here a Laban 325. This one's got a broad nib. I do like my broad nibs. The ink in here is by Robert Oster. And it's Aussie Brown. Nice brown ink for a nice brown pen. Price wise, 146 Aussie dollars. It's a glorious pen to write with. It's a pen, I don't know why I don't fetch it out often enough. I really should do. So that's the Laban 325. We're going to Italy now. for a Leonardo Memento Magico. This is in the meal or honey colour. Beautiful colouring on this. Piston filling pen. Very nice wide ink window. You can really see your ink levels really well in here. Got a nice section again matching the rest of it. Then we've got that Leonardo nib. Again, I believe made by Yoho. So we've got a Leonardo. I'm just going to call it the Magico. Leonardo Magico. With a broad nib. The ink is by Diamine. And it's candlelight. Price for this pen, we're taking quite a jump, 272 Aussie dollars. For an Italian made pen though, I think this is really nice. It's getting a bit on the pricey side, but I think 272 is still reasonable for what you're getting. So that's the Leonardo Magico. I'm going to take a little trip now into Germany for the Lamy 2000. So we've seen two lookalikes already. Here's the real thing. Macrolon pen. Just a pinnacle of design, isn't it? Very nice looking. Piston filling pen. You wouldn't know that though because the line, it's actually here because I'm looking for it. You can hardly see the line between the piston and the body. We've got a little tiny ink window here. Hopefully you can see that. It's just running around here. Let me try and get in focus. That might be easier. Yeah, so it's running around here. It's a nice pen. Fits nice in the hand, really comfortable. This is our first gold nibbed pen of the day. So we've got a Lamy 2000. It's got a broad 14K gold nib. And the ink by Diamine. Writer's blood. Price for this pen, you're looking at 316 Aussie dollars. Now with this pen, although it's labelled as broad, I find it's very stubby. So there's going down, there's going across. So we've got a little bit of that stub nature. So we've got that character coming through in the writing. Really enjoy that. It's also quite a wet writer, which is why I'm trying to avoid putting my hand on the page. So that's the Lamy 2000. Two more pens to go. We're going back to Italy for them both. The first one is the Leonardo Memento Zero Grande. This is in dark Hawaii. Another piston filling pen. Downside with this one, no ink window, so you don't know what your ink level is. And I've had a number of times when I've been using this and it's just run out of ink. Fortunately, I always have other pens with me. Nice size pen though. Fits well in the hand. I love this old style section. My fingers, because I hold my pen low down, they just sit and fit this perfectly. Number 6 size steel nib. So this is a Leonardo. See what I mean? Out of ink. I've just worked the piston mechanism, see if there's a little bit in there. No, actually out of ink. And I didn't know. That's one of the downsides. So this one, into the cleaning pot. That pen was 377 Aussie dollars. So staying in Italy, the final pen, the Visconti Homo Sapiens Dark Age. My grail pen. My precious. Love this. Made from lava, which has been ground up and then mixed with resin to give this beautiful finish. Really nice pen. I like the hook safe mechanism for the cap. So like that, literally about 1/8 of a turn, the cap comes off. To put it on, 1/8 of a turn, and it's on and it's solid. This one is a vacuum filling pen. Again, there's no ink window. So again, don't know if it's out of ink or not. Only downside with it. Wow, this pen is a lot of money. But I absolutely love writing with it. This is the Visconti Homo Sapiens. On this paper, this is Rhodia paper. It's like singing to me. It's a broad and it's an 18 karat gold nib. The ink by Diamine and it's Fireside Snug. I have to go on to the next line, Fireside Snug. As I said, this is an expensive pen. 1,141 Aussie dollars. It ain't cheap. It's my grail pen. I do think it's worth it. I love this pen. The writing is so beautiful. I actually really like this Fireside Snug in here. Sung. S-U-S-N-U-G. I don't know, I should have learned how to spell. But yeah, absolutely beautiful to write with. It's got a weight to it. It's got a nice feel to it. And, you know, it's just a beauty to look at. I know it's very simple, but you can't help but stare at this beautiful material. So that's a Visconti Homo sapiens. So that's the pens that I've currently got inked up during June of 2024. What pens have you got inked up? How do you try and keep on top of them? How do you check them to see if they're out of ink? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.